Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Power Breakfast. Now, like we were talking about the global setup, we did get a bit of a weak handover, right, from Wall Street. And on the back of that, you have the Asian markets which started lower, but a lot of them have recovered now. So the Hang Seng market is now up 1.3%. You have the Taiwanese index, which is, seeing a gain of 0.5% as well. Kospi is up 0.25%. Shanghai is up 0.25%. The only market which is really in the red for Asia is the Nikkei market. So that's what's happening in terms of the Asian market action. But let's bring in our research team now to help us with the trade setup and take us through all of the stocks that we should watch for in today's trading session. Nigel, Vivek, as well as Surbhi all join us now to prep us up for this trading session. Guys, a very good morning to you as we kickstart this brand new trading week. And Vivek, let me come to you first. Take us through all of the cues that, we should watch today. We were just going through the global setup, which does look a little bit negative.
Well, that's right. So talking about the handover, the USA markets actually ended with cuts in the week gone by, given the fact that most of the US markets have now started pricing in a rate hike, that will come in the coming FOMC meet. Now, talking about the European markets as well, European markets ended with gains on Friday, following cuts as far as the previous sessions were concerned. But, the Indian markets continue to be an outlier. The strength continues as far as the Indian markets are concerned. The markets did see a bit of a significant sell-off on Friday, pairing some of the gains that the market saw towards the first 4 trading sessions of the week. But despite the sell-off that we saw on Friday, Indian markets managed to end, the week with gains of well over 1%. Now, what are the key cues to watch out for, especially today as well as the coming week? Number one, as you mentioned, Asian markets seeing a bit of recovery. The GIFT Nifty 2 is something that we've now started tracking. That too is indicating a slightly positive start. But today, there will be a new listing, Cyan DLM list today. It'll be interesting to see the kind of action that this particular name sees, given the kind of strong action that we saw in IdeaForge, the listing that we saw last week. Also remember, AMFI will be releasing the June mutual fund data for, today, and it's very important to track the kind of trends that we're seeing, especially as far as the SIP numbers are concerned. And lastly, earnings season will kick off in full swing. IT stocks will deliver their results, and that'll be something that markets, especially the technology sector, will be taking cues from, especially given the fact that TCS would be the first company, the large cap company, to come and deliver its results.
Okay, almost earnings season once again. Vivek, thanks a lot for bringing us all of those cues. But let's also bring Surbhi in. She's here to list out all of the stocks that we should really watch in today's trading session. Hi, Surbhi.
Hi, Pavitra. So the first one on my radar is Reliance Industries. The company has fixed July 20th as the record date for the Jio Financial demerger. The company will allot 1 share for every 1 share held in the Reliance Industries company. Next is Hindustan Aeronautics. They sign a 458 crore deal for 2 aircrafts for the Indian Coast Guard. HDFC Bank, the bank is going to sell nearly 2% equity in the NSDL IPO via OFS. Samvadan Motherson, the company has entered into an agreement to acquire 100% stake in Rollon Hydraulics for an enterprise value of 77 crores. RVNL, the company emerges as the lowest bidder for an NHAI project worth 808 crores. And lastly, SpiceJet, the board is going to consider a fundraise on July 12th.
All right, Surbhi, thanks a lot for taking us through that entire list of stocks. In fact, speaking of stocks that we should watch in today's trading session, Z Entertainment is also an important one to, really focus on, because the Securities Appellate Tribunal is set to deliver an order on an appeal by promoter Subhash Chandra as well as Puneet Goenka against the SEBI's interim order. Remember, the securities regulator had restrained Chandra as well as Puneet Goenka from holding directorship or any key managerial positions in listed entities on account of alleged fund diversion at Z Entertainment. So this stock will definitely be important to watch in today's trading session as well. So that is all of the stock-specific action that we are looking at. But Nigel is also here to fill us in with all of the cues from the futures and options space. Good morning, Nigel.
Morning, Pavitra. Welcome back. In Friday's trading session, we had a bit of a breather and some sanity did prevail. Now, the FIs, we are pointing this out, that the net long positioning had moved to more than 1 lakh contracts on the long side. And that cooled off a little bit, and you saw some unwinding of longs and some addition of short positioning as well. I'll say that's healthy because this market was devoid of any kind of short positioning. So good to see some shorts getting into the system. On the option side, they bought more calls than puts. They bought close to on 5 lakh call contracts, which was in the ratio of close to on 2 calls for every 1 put. On the writing side, well, they wrote calls aggressively, and they wrote close to around 5 calls for every 1 put, telling you that at higher levels, we could be bracing for some kind of supply. Which brings us to the strikes, 19,400, 19,500 call. Both of them very, very active, added close to around 1.5 crore shares out there. So aggressive writing being seen out there, which brings us to the levels. Given that we saw such aggressive writing at around that 19,400 as well as 19,500 call, we're expecting resistance at around 19,500, 19,520, which is the recent high. On the downside, till that 19,000 level, 18,950 odd level to around 19,000 holds out, you'll say the long trend is still intact. For today, you'd want that 19,250 odd level to hold out. On the Nifty Bank, 44,700 becomes a crucial part on the short on the support levels, because we have seen some bit of writing at around the 45,000 put. If that breaks, then you're looking at the 20 DMA. The Gift Nifty suggesting some green to kickstart trade. I think we'll get a bit of an intraday dip as well. Actually, now it's moved into the red. It's indicating a pullback of close to around 25 points. So let's see how this goes. Maybe at lower levels, buy on dips could work out, but good to see a bit of a healthy correction on Friday. Back to you.
All right, Nigel, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues from the futures and options space as well. With that, it is time for a short break on the show. But up next, torrential rain brings large parts of North India to its knees. We're going to bring you all of the updates on the other side.